This is Level Up Success Podcast with Neth and Truth.
Hey, how you doing, friends and family? This is the Level Up
Success Podcast.
and welcome to another episode where we always bring knowledge and power to our listeners. So tell me, Ned, how we gonna start this now?
Hey, how you guys doing today, man? We're doing great. Hope you guys are doing great. And, excited about our segment today. So, before we start getting into today's topic, hey, why don't you give the audience your name, your background, where you're from,
My name is Asha. Last name you need?
You don't need to.
Okay.
It's up to you.
My name is Asha, but I go by Hope. 35, mom of 6. I say 6 because I have a pup. So I'm a puppy mom, and, I am an entrepreneur. I most recently just opened up my own business, and it is a nutrition club.
Right.
I am engaged to be married soon and living life every day.
All right. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, talk to me more about like what it is that you what services you give to people, and how did you get engaged into it?
Okay, so for me, it's going on 2 years this November. Mm-hmm. So 2 years this November. 2 years ago, I got on this path of trying to get healthy, lose weight, due to a number of health conditions that I was having and accidents that I had got into. So upon all of that, my coach, who's also my sister-in-law, that particular day, she was I guess she was listening. She was doing her job.
Okay.
And she heard me, and she invited me to a group first called Team Beauty. And from there, it was more like a women empowerment group, a support system, focusing more on mental, giving you a platform and a space to feel free and supportive and know that you're not alone. And in that moment, I think that's what without me saying it, she knew I needed. So I showed up to that day on Wednesday. And from there, she re-invited me. She sold me a 3-day trial. To then, another part of her listening was the weight loss. So she heard me first on the mental aspect, and then she came in with the weight loss. And I tried this product, and I fell in love with it. I was able to continue in it. And from there, I got on this path of, that 80-20 rule. 80% nutrition, 20% fitness, but more for me, it was mental. So that's why I really got into this, because the mental part saved me. Yeah. And so for me to then be able to, go through everything that I went through, and then to be able to open up my own platform in another community to bring what was given to me to other people, it was a blessing. A path I never thought I would, even be on. It wasn't a part of my plan, but I'm here. And I found a connection to it in my plan. So I was like, okay, this was what I wanted to do, but this is where I'm at. But if you think about it, they have ties together.
Yes. No, and it's crazy how sometimes it works like that. Mm-hmm. Everything just starts making sense.
Yeah.
Okay, this happens because of this, and and it's great that you had a family member involved into this, because you get to really get more in tune, right? As when it's like a family, you get more comfortable to but that's great. Now, do you want to talk a bit more? Will you be comfortable talking about a bit more, about your accident, like what it is that?
Yeah, I could talk more.
Yeah.
2019, I was in the medical field for 10 years.
Okay.
So my life, for me, coming into that 2019, I felt like for me, my life was getting on track. I felt happy. I felt at peace. Like I was waking up every day, and I loved my job. I started, in the medical field as a PCA, and then I worked my way all the way up. And I wanted to start solo. And then I went home aid, and then I hospice, and all the way up until I was taking my night courses for my LPN. And then that's when my accident happened, and I was hit by a car. And that car left me with, multiple injuries. And then following a month from that, come February, I fall through the stairs of the place I'm living in. So from this accident to that accident, back to back, left me in a world of confusion. And I was more like, man, what's going on? My car, a settled job, the income was right. I was happy. Everything was moving. And then, boom, everything changed.
Yeah, and then you get to that feel of like when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
So then you get into this cycle of things that what else could go wrong? Bam, you fall down the stairs. What else could go wrong? So
Boom.
you just go through things. But I'm in the belief that when those things happen, right, it's something that you go through so that it builds you. Right, so you get into that feeling that you're feeling, because it's gonna happen naturally. Then then you come to a place where it's like, okay, now I have to, get up.
Right.
I have to regenerate myself, right?
Yes.
And now once you're in a place where it's like you're, more comfortable, now you get to remind yourself, okay, I don't want to get too comfortable, because something could happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So let me make sure that I don't get to that place again. I could relate to that in a sense, because I've gone through, I went through something tough. I mean, Truth knows about this.
I've been through a situation like that. It seems like everything is happening at the same time, and you asking me why. I mean, I know. I've read there's a story that everybody's going through something right now, and the thing is, when it happened to you yourself, you only think it's only me, but it does happen to many a lot of people. It's that we're gonna realize, because, I mean, how you gonna realize when you going through that issue too? That's another thing.
Right.
So it's difficult, and I've read that a lot of people go through the same thing, and I don't know. It's good to hear your story, because I feel like more people need to hear this. Like when I was going through my thing, like I said, I felt like I was the only one. And I think he understood. Once I kept reading story or hearing story of other people that going, not the same thing, but similar stuff.
Right.
I was able to, I guess, handle the situation better, because it does help. I don't know if it happened the same thing with you, but I wouldn't be surprised if you heard somebody has similar story or.
I did.
So
I
perfect
did.
example. Maybe you could elaborate that part. But
It was scary.
yes. It is scary.
To the T, to hear somebody tell your story, but not you.
Yeah.
It was weird. And that all falls into the mental and getting into it. And joining this community was different for me, but it felt comfortable. It felt peaceful. It's a place you want to be a part of. And because our reality, it's so jacked up that you want to escape from it. And so, this community of individuals who just have a passion and a love for helping others, it's peace to me, because that's what I'm into. Yeah, and I didn't know I was into it, because I was the type, I don't like people. I don't like people. I don't like people.
Yeah.
I would say that all the time, and my father would say, no, you keep saying that, but they love you. Like, you're a healer, naturally. You're from physical, emotional, your words, your hands, you are a healer. So he read me and he told me. And it wasn't until, in my career and losing him at the same time as losing a patient that the connection hit. And it was just like, okay. And then right after that, the accident. And so he saved me, because when that car hit me, I didn't even know I had the reflex to spin and whip a car. You only see stuff like that in the movie. And or I keep his picture on my dashboard, so all I could do is scream his name. And then in that moment, through my side view, I saw a mom in her stroller. So it really was in me to, make sure I can stop this car and get away. If not me, at least I know that family was safe. So that put me into, depression, because I went from being a provider, the provider, a mom, active all my life. Just I've worked and I've been active. But, having that time to sit down, it was like one thing after another. And I've started to make the connection like, all right, what are you asking of me? What do you want? And it was like something just kept pulling me. And I had to like stop running from it and really say, okay, like I'm here and I'm ready. I'm totally ready for whatever this is that you got me going through.
Yeah.
And hold on to my faith.
That's good. I have a question. So you started when you was doing your career, before the accident. You already had all your kids by then, or
Yes.
Okay, so
Except for my by the time the accident happened, I just had my last child, my fifth one. Okay. And so for me, that was like, man, I just had a baby. And then for them to say through, I've went over both ankles, both knees, both shoulders, spinal infusion, herniated disc. And so to just be bed rested and have people care for me when that's something I never thought I would be on the opposite side of, at least not at the age that it happened to me, So it was like, and then for them to say, hey, you won't be able to do all of these things you used to do, pick up your baby, no more than 10 pounds, and all these restrictions, it was very difficult to adapt to.
What age was that the accident actually happened?
So 2019, and I'm 35.
Okay.
I was
32. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and what I got from this is that you kind of already had like your life mapped out, right? Mm-hmm. And then like the accident happened, it went through a swirl, right? So, and then you go through this mental state.
Yes.
I understand that mental state, by the way. But now then you find your sister. She kind of understands that you're going through something, so she's like, "You come to this." You went to a service, right?
Yeah, it's a women empowerment group. We fit dance, and then after it's women empowerment, where we just vent whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind. It's your platform. We lead with an opening, and then we close with power. And it was like, oh, okay, I left like, okay. Yeah. But it was something that just kept saying to me, you need this. And it was kind of like, for me, I'm spiritual. And I felt like my father kept on pushing me back into that community. Like, nah, you need this. Mm-hmm. This is where you need to be. And so from that to nutrition. And then she heard me when I said, I need an income. Because now my job sees me as a liability. I don't have my job no more. So then to not be able to provide, that mental. So to not be physically able to do all the things you're used to doing, and then not be physically able to be a provider, not be physically able to be a mom, to be a wife, all those things to watch my family and my children have to wash me, feed me, clothe me. It did something to my mental. It took a piece of me away. And I went into a depression. And so I stayed tapped into that group. And my doctor gave me, a warning. And from that warning, I woke up. And through my depression and stuff and the medicine they had me on, it got bad. To the point where I solely depended on the medicine, to the point where I knocked out. And it's weird when you hear it, like You didn't have to go to the hospital or nothing. No, I feel like I didn't consciously do it, but it was just the pain that I wanted to stop. So not knowing how many I'm really taking, I overdosed, but enough to only put me into a nice 2-day sleep. Maybe something that my body and my mind needed, and something I needed to wake up, because in that sleep, my father visited me and he woke me up. He said, "We're not going into day 3. Get the up, yay, Tunde. I didn't raise you like this. Get up." And he ripped into me. And at that time, my place was covered in pictures. I'm a big picture person. I love to have pictures all over the wall of family. So as soon as my eyes did open up, his picture was the first face I saw, like this, with that finger just pointing at me. And I was just like, out of all pictures, is that one that is right there, just because he got this Mr. T. He was a Mr. T stunt dummy. Double.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
He was a
nice.
Mr. T stunt double. So he had that same picture, with that finger, like a pity food. And so that one just sitting right there.
Man.
And it was like, all right. And I got up. It was hard to get out of the bed, but I got up. And in that moment, I feel like I lost my hearing, because I couldn't hear anything. Even I can see, but I couldn't hear. It was so weird to be in that space. Yeah. And when I finally said okay and stood up, that's when my hearing popped in, and I can hear my kids crying. And it was, for me, a wake up, because even to today, I'll ask, well, what happened? They'll say, "Ma, you was sleeping. We checked on you. We made sure there was a pulse. You breathing. We saw." And they hung out right there in the bed. That day I had sent my mom home. I sent my friend at the time home. I sent my fiance. He was doing a double. I told him, "Hey, don't go to work." And I told everybody, "I'm okay. I got it." But not knowing I wasn't ready to be left alone. And so that wake up, I dumped every single pill. Like, I dumped it and I was done. Like, I began a journey of self-healing, self-love, self-embrace, and just getting back to Asha again and saying to myself, hey, you know what? If this is going to be your life now, we got to figure out how we're going to move, how we're going to get around, how we could do things. Yeah. But it's time to become dependent again, at least a little bit. And also know that it's okay to ask for help when I need it. Because that was the big thing for me. I didn't like to ask for help. I did everything, so it was just me, my kids. I have my mom. I love that lady. And my fiance, I love him. My kids. And it's like, through this journey, they ask us, like, that real question, what's your why? Yeah. Why do you wake up? Why do you want to do something every day? And for me, it was them. And it was bigger than me. And so I was like, dang, I would have been very selfish if this would have succeeded.
That's very powerful. And look, that's all you really need. You just need your loved ones to just be on your side, and that's just enough. You know what I mean? Like, people to, that people, you want to have people that you could depend on certain things, and then and when you have people depending on you, that fuels you. It gives you a certain fuel to, like, want to achieve something, because it is more powerful than you,
Yeah, and that's this community. Yeah, it's like you just said, that fuel, not feeling like you're in a space always giving and giving and giving, and people just feeling so freely to take without fueling you back up, without giving you what you've put into them. But this community is different. They match your energy, and they give you just a little bit more in your cup to where it spills over, and it's amazing. Yeah, and so awesome. That's something that I needed. Me. So for me, it was, Asha, what do you need to see you again? Because in the accident, during the impact and neglect of my health and my care, I lost my teeth. And And just when that happened, COVID happened. So for me, I always tell everybody, it's no offense to anybody, but COVID was a blessing and a disguise for me, because I felt like I was selfie queen. I was always in the camera. I smile. I talk with my teeth. I talk with my gums. And to lose what I thought was my identity was another just a chip away at, me. And the depression went deeper. And so that's when the work had to begin. And through this journey and this group and this community, they teach you personal development. And I've never done or never heard or been told to do personal development. So when it was broken down to me and I really started to dig into it, I really started to be able to ask myself questions, real questions, and get answers and really make a connection with me and finding a peace in this. And it just kept saying him and him. Like, is it God, a universe? My whole thing is whatever it is, I hear you, and I'm open, and I'm ready to receive it and do the work. And so I began doing the work, and I started losing the weight first. But before the weight, it was my mental to be able, because COVID eventually had to come to an end. And so through that, I had to find out, who's Asha? Who are you besides those beautiful teeth? Who are you? Who are you besides the flesh that we was given? Who are you in here? What are you, your soul? What's your mark, your stamp? If I die tomorrow, will I be remembered? What's the impact that I'm going to leave, that I want to leave? Because all this didn't happen to me for no reason. And now today I think back at everything and I'm just like, man, 5 times over I can count on my hand that I shouldn't have been here, but he spared me each of those times. And so now I'm ready to keep doing the work. And so I started loving me again, and I was able to remove that mask. And I did my first live, because part of the Team Beauty, we do Sundays, women empowerment, and different women get able to do this. But the floor is all yours. You turn on your camera and you vent, and you give us a little bit of you, and you share something, you teach us something, because you never know, your experience just might be something I needed to hear. And so for me, that Sunday of being picked and having to remove my mask and share my story was me ripping off my Band-Aid and saying, I'm tired of living in the dark. I'm tired of depression. I'm tired of suicide thoughts.
Time to look at the light.
That's right. I was ready.
Yeah. So, do they still are they still doing do they still exist? Do they still
Team Beauty?
Yeah.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right, awesome.
to this day.
If you could send us a link, we could put it out there.
Of course.
Yeah,
I think that'll help a lot of people. So that's good. So I did want to mention. I know you talked a little bit about it, but so what has been your transformation? Like what have you what have you accomplished since you started with this journey, or since the accident? Let's just put it like that.
So since all of that, you start the development of, self-finding and self-healing, but knowing that healing is every day.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a 1, 2, 3 fix. It's an everyday work in progress.
Yes.
So I started doing my homework. I started, following the assignments and showing up. And then the weight started falling off. After that Sunday of empowerment.
How much weight did you lose?
So I initially started at 300 pounds myself. By the time I joined with Team Beauty, I was 267.
Okay.
Today I weigh in at 185. I'm 15 pounds closer to my goal
Wow.
of 170.
I gotta give a clap for that one, man.
Capital applause.
Yeah.
It's not typical, but
Yeah.
it is possible with commitment and determination and my health and being able to, if not be 100% mobile and active with my kids, at least know that I can put some effort into it, because now all that unhealthy weight and all that energy is off of me. Now I'm in the phase of reaching my next 15 pounds. Once I reach my goal, then I start toning and tightening. And now the next challenge is maintaining this, because this is a lifestyle.
See, but at least you're doing it the right way. You're doing it by step. Because I've seen people that they try have a go to the way, but sometimes they do the step too high. They said they go too high, but you went to a process. First you did, like you were saying it first, the mental. Because, like you said, if you're mentally ready to do it, you're not going to be able to lose the weight at first, right?
Right.
So that's a good thing. So for our listeners could see how to start a process. Then you got your small goal. And no, even if you do manage to do your goal, like you said, the 15 weight, you have another goal to maintain. Like, it's like you said, it never ends, the goals.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the one thing people need to realize. Once you do your goal, if you do your goal, there's always going to be a new goal that you got to.
That's right. It's always showing up and challenging yourself every day. It's you versus you, nobody else. I learned that.
Yeah.
Stop blaming people. Yeah. Stop blaming people. Everything is already written for you. You already know what your purpose is, what your impact is going to be. You just have to find your way. And when you get on that path, it's doing the homework and really showing up and being committed through all of the storms. And then I heard that too through a motivational speaker. And my mentor sent me that, and I had to watch it, the difference between a cow and a bull. And I was like, you sent me this because I'm a Taurus. And so when I watched it, I was like, okay. I was like, I hear you. I see you, because she sees me and she's like, all right, listen, I need to wake you up because I feel like that cloud is coming again, and I want to shake you because you are beautiful in this light and I need you to stay here. And so, to hear that and to know, okay, here's a storm. And when a storm hits and you got a cow and a bull, who runs through it and who runs away from it? And I was like, okay. And I made the connection, and I started just making different connections. Like, all right, I'm a bull. I run through the storm. It's going to be hard getting through it, but I know I got through it. I made it through the storm because I didn't give up. I didn't, turn around and run and hide.
And guess what? It makes you stronger afterwards.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
So now that storm could come in and you could just breeze through it.
Yeah.
So so that's awesome. So I kind of want to talk about my journey within this, because I the way that we met, I went into her club and I tried her shake. Do you remember the first day? Do you remember how I went?
Yes. So you came in. So I have a nutrition club.
Yeah.
SB Nutrition. It's located 336 East Gun Hill Road in the Bronx.
Put it up.
No, definitely.
And so when you came in, he was a little like, is this what I think it is? I was like, yes, it is. And so I made him a shake, cookies and cream.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Cookie and cream?
No, do you remember?
Pumpkin spice.
Yeah. So I think
his tea by itself, his water and aloe by itself, that was different for me.
Yeah.
So after you, I had reached out to my coach and my mentor, and I asked her, and she said, yes, way back when, that's how they originally would consume the product.
Yeah.
It would be the tea, the water, aloe, the tea, and then the shake.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So, and then we started vibing from there.
Yeah, no, and not only that, like, so people that know me, they know, like, or that know that I consume the product, they know that I make the shake a certain way, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I have this certain way of making it. So when I go into a club, I be like, like, this is the way I like it. Now, I remember, since you wasn't used to the way that I was asking for it, when it came to, like, making the shake, right? Once she handed me the shake, I'm like, yo, like, this is, like, delicious, bro. Like, what you put in there? I'm like, I'm out here, I'm here telling her, like, how to make it. Like, she, like, letting me know, like, well, I'm the professional here. So, like, here's your shake, like, and I tried, I'm like, and I just kept coming in every time I could, so it is, I see how, different it is. I see how creative you are. So,
Yes.
I do appreciate that. And like, I like to support businesses, especially ones that I see that are, articulate and that they do have passion into it. And the last thing is you write little notes on the
Cups.
which was like, I was like, okay, so that was pretty exciting when I saw that. I'm like, okay, this place is a little different.
Yeah,
So-
and that's what I wanted because I'm different.
Yeah.
And I always said that from day one. I'm different.
Yeah.
And I had to own that. And coming into this journey and coming from mental fitness and then being in a nutrition club and seeing the environment, when I finally became able to have my own platform, I reached out to my mentor and my coach and said, I want this. And we searched all over, and I'm the type, a location has to speak to me physically, like gotta move me in some way. So I looked around. There was so many places, but this place just kept on, binging at me. And so I asked, can I go in? And I stood in there by myself one day, and it was just like, it spoke to me, like, we need you.
I mean,
And-
sometimes it be like that where you see a location and you like, I know it's gonna work. Like,
Yeah. But I kind of feel like the other spots I looked at, it had more space to do more, but it was just something about Gun Hill and that area and the people that I saw different. I pull up, I drive through it, and I'm like, this is a beautiful area. It's a beautiful community. The people, the energy, throughout construction, I would get little peeks under the gate, and they would knock at the window and talk to me, and, hey, what are you? And I'm like, I'm a cellular nutrition company. I focus on the inside all the way through the out. So we don't just target one thing. I focus on everything, but me, I let everybody know mental is first for me.
Yeah.
Your mental is a mind, body, soul connection. So for me to branch off and create SB Beauty for that area, it was, okay, now I need to give this community this platform and let them know, like, hey, this is your safe space. On Wednesdays, we show up, we wear pink. We shake all of that past week, midweek energy off. We sparkle, we have fun. After, the floor is yours to get out whatever you need to get out, to share whatever you need to share. No judgment. But this is your space right here. Don't ever feel like you're alone. Don't ever feel like you have to take yourself out. Don't ever feel like you have to resort to this or that. This is your space. I took this and I built this for you guys. So whenever Gun Hill and the community and everybody is ready to keep coming in, the doors are open. I have decided this is what I wanted. I made the connection. The passion is real. The love is real. I could have did anything. But it was that and the tie to what I was already doing. See, I was caring for people and I was providing what those families needed, but I was I was one person, few hours, next person, few hours, home to home. So in accepting my new life and my conditions, I had to make the connection like, okay, I see what you're doing. You want me to have a broader platform to service more than just one of your children. You want me to really be out here. You want me to really give these people something and show them, like, listen, you can go through all of this and you can still turn out amazing. You have power. You are beautiful. You are magical. You are seen. And so that's what I want to give people, because my heart is real. And so I tell everybody, I opened this location not just to feed your body great nutrition by the #1 nutrition company in the world, but I also want to give you a piece of love and what kindness really looks like.
I'm gonna tell you what I really appreciate about what you do, because like you see a lot of infomercials talking about hey, weight loss is the secret, like you take this pill, whatever. So what you guys do, and you said a key word, you guys focus on the cellular nutrition.
Yes.
So it's everything, right?
Everything.
So like what I went through. So before like I met you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I was part of this whole other business when and they were talking about their focus was the new focus was nutrition, right?
Right.
Now the reason why they were focused on nutrition, because before they were working on the cellular, like home cellular network and internet. So they transitioned to health because it looked like that was what was trending. So, but they were implementing the mindset of this is what this business could do for you. You could become very wealthy. Like, you have to, when you're wealthy, you have to look the part. You have to like lose the weight. You got to look good. This is something for the skin. This is something for your weight loss. But they weren't really focused on really getting into the weight loss, really understanding what was the problem. Mm-hmm. And and the way I looked at it, they were new, and they were new in the nutrition game, so their focus was, they had the same focus of when they were doing their phone business. So I didn't stay with them because of that. Mm-hmm. Once I walked into a facility, right, and they started talking about the cellular nutrition. They started talking about, like the first thing when I went in there, the first thing they did was like, okay, let's measure your weight. Let's measure, how much fat you have in you. So they put it on this machine. I'm like, what's all this going on? And then, and then they would explain like the nutrition. They would explain, look, if you would replace this with a meal, this is what would happen. Mm-hmm. So, like I kind of like love the concept. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stick through it. So, like when I with that, and also I started doing like a lot of fitness. So I lost a lot of weight at that point in time. I lost like around 80 pounds. You remember though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I transitioned like a lot. So and then like I did fail in it, like because I didn't keep consistency. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going through this journey. Yeah. So now I'm going through a new journey. Mm-hmm. Now I want to lose it and keep it off. So we will definitely keep in contact, because it's something that I and truly invested on.
Okay.
So yeah, so we're definitely gonna keep in contact with that. Now, where do you see this going? So I usually ask people in a certain way, so I'm just gonna ask it in this manner. So where do you see this going, like a year from now? Like where do you see yourself a year from now?
Up in the next week episode.
Identify with that now and feel like, all right, Asha. So it's not the products that don't work. It's not the coach that don't work. It's not none of that. It's you. You got my coach over here. She supports. She shows up. She's encouraging. She's motivating.